Hello and welcome guys to a new episode on SportPredictorFanatic. Today we're going to predict the round 5 matchups in the Bundesliga. First, of course, we're going to do the prediction of all 9 matches, and then we're going to get into it like the betting part, where I show you what I'm going to do, at least for the betting part. And I mean, I'm in profit at the moment in total, so maybe you should listen, maybe not. But yeah, let's just freaking go. The first matchup that is going to be played is Dortmund against Bochum. Dortmund are on 7 points after 4 matches in the Bundesliga, and with that are shared 7th. Last week they got a win in the Champions League with a 3-0 over Club Brugge, although they didn't look too good there. And this form actually continued last weekend where they lost 5-1 against Stuttgart. Bochum are only 1 point after 4 Bundesliga matches, and with that are shared last. The point did come last weekend though, and it was against Holstein Kiel, who with that are also on 1 point. Last season, Dortmund and Bochum played each other twice, with Dortmund winning at home, while the other match actually ended in a draw. In the last 5 matches between Dortmund and Bochum, Dortmund has won 3 times and the other 2 were draws. Dortmund, of course, are the favorites here, although they did get a big loss last weekend, but I still think they're like the rightful favorites here, and I think they will get the win, also due to Bochum just not being a good team. Then we have Leipzig against Augsburg. Leipzig are on 8 points after 4 matches, and with that are shared 5th. Last weekend they first lost in the Champions League against Atletico, but then surprisingly drew against St. Pauli. So not the greatest week for Leipzig there. Augsburg are on 4 points after 4 games, and with that are 12th. Last weekend they lost again 3-2 against Mainz. Last season Leipzig and Augsburg played each other twice, with Leipzig winning at home, and at Augsburg they got a draw. The last time Augsburg actually won this matchup was in 2017. Since then, 10 wins for Leipzig and 5 draws. And actually the last 5 times Leipzig played at home against Augsburg, they won all 5. With that said, and just the fact that I think Leipzig are the better team here and just the best form of Augsburg at the moment, although Leipzig don't have the greatest form either, I still think Leipzig are going to get this W. Then we have Freiburg against St. Pauli. Freiburg, after 4 games in the Bundesliga, are on 9 points, and with that are actually shared 2nd. The match they lost this season was against Bayern Munich, which is of course no shame. Last 2 matches were won, with last weekend a 3-0 win over Heidenheim. St. Pauli at the minute are shared last with 1 point out of the 4 Bundesliga games. They got a point though last weekend, extremely surprisingly as said, against Leipzig. The last time Freiburg and St. Pauli have actually played each other was in 2022 in the DFB Pokal, where Freiburg won in extra time. I think with the form of St. Pauli and the form of Freiburg and also the class of Freiburg, I think Freiburg will get this W. Then we have Wolfsburg against Stuttgart. Wolfsburg are on 3 points after 4 games, and with that are shared 13th. The last 2 weeks they lost, with last weekend a real thriller against Bayer Leverkusen, ending in a 4-3 loss for them. Stuttgart are on 7 points after 4 games, and with that are actually shared 7th. Last week they of course lost in Champions League against Real Madrid, although they did play really well, and of course last weekend they continued their form basically, but got the win with 5-1 against Dortmund. With that they have won the last 2 Bundesliga games. Last season, Wolfsburg and Stuttgart played each other twice, with Stuttgart winning both matches, and I think Stuttgart is going to make it 3, as I think they have the better team, have the better form at the minute, and because of that will get the win. Then we go to Mainz against Heidenheim. Mainz are on 5 points after 4 matches, and with that are shared 10th. Last weekend they got their first win with 3-2 over Augsburg. Heidenheim are currently on 6 points after 4 games, and with that are 9th. Heidenheim have lost the last 2 matches which was against Dortmund and last weekend against Freiburg with 3-0. Mainz and Heidenheim have only played each other twice, which was last season actually, where Heidenheim won away and the other match ended in a draw. So actually Mainz have actually never ever won this matchup. I think though that Mainz have got the better team here, and I think the form is quite equal, and because of that I'm actually going to go for a Mainz win, because I just think Mainz do have the better team, and with the form equal I think Mainz will get the W. So yeah, I'm going for Mainz. Then we have a Gladbach against Borussia Mönchengladbach against Union Berlin. Gladbach are on 3 points after 4 games, and with that are shared 13th. The last 2 matches were lost with a loss last weekend as well against Eintracht Frankfurt. Union Berlin are on 8 points after 4 games, and with that are shared 5th. Last weekend they won against Hoffenheim. With that, they are actually still unbeaten this season. Last season, Gladbach and Union Berlin played each other twice, with Union winning at home and the other match actually ending in a draw. In the last 6 head-to-head between Union Berlin and Gladbach, Union Berlin won 5 times and they drew once. I actually think Gladbach do have the better team, but I always say this about Union Berlin, that they don't have a good team, but they always perform well. So with that, and just the fact that the form is better at the minute for Union Berlin, I think Union Berlin is actually going to get this W. Then we have, I think, the biggest matchup in the Bundesliga, maybe even the biggest of this week's top 6 leagues. It is, of course, time for Bayern Munich against Bayer Leverkusen. Of course, 2 big teams at the moment. Also, I think both are doing well, but we're going to dive deeper into that now. Bayern Munich have, of course, been perfect this season. With a win in the DFB Pokal, 4 Bundesliga wins out of the 4 matches, and of course in the Champions League a 9-2 win over Dinamo Zagreb last week. Last weekend they also won with 5-0 against Werder Bremen, and with that they are of course first. Leverkusen's season has been almost perfect, with first a win in the Super Cup, then in the DFB Pokal a win, in the Champions League of course a 4-0 win against Feyenoord, and they only have lost 1 game in the Bundesliga, and the other one they've won, I think, and the loss was of course against Leipzig. And of course last weekend they won 4-3 against Wolfsburg, as said, a real thriller. With that, they are actually now shared second in the league. Last season, of course, Bayern Munich and Leverkusen played each other twice, with Leverkusen winning at home while the other match actually ended in a draw. I think this will be a very fun match to watch, as they both like to score a lot. But I think Bayern will win this, as I think their defense at the moment is just looking stronger than Leverkusen. And actually, pure for that sake, like the defense bit, I'm going to go for Bayern Munich. But I'm actually secretly hoping for Bayer Leverkusen. Then we have Holstein Kiel against Eintracht Frankfurt. Holstein Kiel are shared last in the Bundesliga with 1 point from the first 4 games. This point was gained last weekend against Bochum. Eintracht Frankfurt are shared second at the moment, with 9 points from 4 games. They lost their first matchup against Dortmund and then won the other 3. They lost, I said last weekend. They of course won. Their win was against Borussia Mönchengladbach with 2-0. Earlier this week, Eintracht also played in the Europa League, which was a 3-3 against Plützen, where they will be a little bit sour about because they were 3-1 up, and in the 86th and the 93rd minute, Plützen scored, and with that, they both got a point. Holstein Kiel and Eintracht have never played each other in the past, so that's actually really interesting. Two German clubs that have never played each other. But I think it's pretty clear who's going to win. Even though Eintracht did fail to win their Europa League game, I think they're the better team and they should get the dub here. Yeah, I think they're going to get this dub quite easy. But I'm of course not sure. But then we have Hoffenheim against Werder Bremen. Hoffenheim are on 3 points after 4 games. And with that, in the Bundesliga, they are now shared 13th. They won the first round matchup and then lost all 3 matchups. With last weekend a loss against Union Berlin with 2-0. Earlier this week, they also played the first Europa League matchup where they drew 1-1 against Midtjylland with a 90-minute equalizer. So pretty lucky as well there. Werder Bremen are on 5 points after 4 games and are with that shared 10th. Last weekend they lost 5-0 against Bayern Munich, but Bayern Munich of course are on fire at the minute. Last season, Hoffenheim and Werder Bremen played each other twice, with Hoffenheim winning both matches. I think Hoffenheim does have the better team here, but Werder Bremen at this moment are just playing better than them. And because of that, I'm actually going to go for a draw. And with that, we've actually done all matches in the Bundesliga this weekend. So now we're going to get into the betting part. The betting part, what I think are going to be the matches I'm going to be betting on are Union Berlin to win their matchup. The odds for that is 3.4. Mainz to win their matchup, the odds for that is 1.83. Then Stuttgart to win their matchup, the odds for that is 2.14. Then Eintracht Frankfurt to win their matchup, the odds for that is 1.70. And then Hoffenheim against Werder Bremen to be a draw, the odds for that is 3.8. What I'm going to do is I'm just going safe. I normally do this the first half of the season. I go pretty safe. So I'm going to put 50 cents on the doubles, 50 cents on the trebles. You both have 10. So with that, we in total have 5 euros on the doubles, 5 euros on trebles. So with that, 10 euros on the whole Bundesliga. That's what I'm going to go for. Please let me know what you think. I'm actually curious what you think. So please let me know. But for now, I want to thank you all for watching. Please have a good day and I will see you.